So hey guys, what's up, this is ScherBR and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about UniverSe. We will be talking about Halloween banner. We had the pre-Halloween banner and this is finally the Halloween banner. But this banner is very different than we were expecting. I was making a preview of this banner, but then I waited a little more because I was kinda unsure about Vampire Lady, but then I decided to pull her. I was playing with her for some hours. So let's just go straight to that. We will start with Vampire Lady. Because, well, she is the most changed character so far for Global. I think Emilia was heavily changed, but Vampire Lady is an entirely different entity now. She has this attack called Inhale Energy. Inhale Energy is the same attack that she had in the Japanese version, but it was changed for less BP cost. It was 5 BP on Japan, now it's 4 BP, we can reduce it to 3, so she can use this forever. We get 3 BP by a turn, so that means that she can attack and heal. Inhale Energy attacks with 10 power, it also recovers HP. The recover is not so high, as she will be healing for 250 if she's capped to our current levels of progression, but it's still very nice to have something like this. She can self-sustain. And this is interesting because it's a guarantee to always heal with every new attack. That is if you choose Inhale Energy. And the second one is Mirage Blade. We already saw this with a lot of different characters. It's not good per se if you consider that it's not so strong. It's only D damage, but it's AoE. We need AoE on this game. Until we start getting characters that have cheaper versions of this type of AoE attack, Mirage Blade is still useful. Well, this is the same as the Japanese version. But we have to get back to Mirage Blade after seeing her abilities. The last one is Rainbow Shot. Rainbow Shot is a different name, strange name, because look at what she does here. And this attack here is the same as the Japanese version with just one single difference. In the Japanese version it was reduced to endurance, and now she can inflict unconsciousnesses. Unconsciousnesses is a different type of status ailment that kills the enemy as soon as it lands. So this is insta-kill when it lands. It has a chance of insta-killing enemies. That is if they are not immune. It's interesting because this girl here has two different builds for farming. And she's more for farming than for challenges. But more into that when we get to see her abilities. Let's click here on style details. The first ability is the same that she already had. She also has this one with her Platinum style. It inflicts charm on a random enemy with a low chance for 4 turns. This is only on the start of a round. Round is a wave here on this game. So 10% chance of charming one enemy. It charms every type of enemy unless it's immune. Immune is when it has 90-99 resistance. The second one is Insidious Charm. When landing on attack, inflicts charm on a target with a medium chance. Well, we need to talk about this because this changes everything about Vampire Lady. Its Insidious Charm is unique. No other character has this. No other character has this with a low chance, and she already has this with a medium chance. Well, in order to further explain this, we have to go to Now, Romancing SaGa website. And now we are here on the Now website. This page here shows all the passives that can inflict status ailments, starting with Poison. There are a character that can inflict Poison on all enemies with 25% chance only on the start of a round. That is, on the start of a wave. Then we have characters that can do this on every turn with 25% chance. This is actually very good. And then we have characters that have something similar to what we have with Vampire Lady. 25% chance of inflicting poison with any type of attack. That is super nice. And for stun, we have the same possibilities. We have on the start of a turn, we have on the start of a wave, and then we have 3 different SS styles that can also inflict it with attacks. That means any type of attack. That is SS Annie, she's a Platinum style. SS Jamil, this one is limited. And then SS Madeline, that's very far in the future. And now for Paralyze, there's only one character that can inflict it by using abilities. And it's Kaczynski, with only 10% chance of doing it. That's not very high, that's because Paralyze is busted, we all know it. But you know what's even more busted than Paralyze? Charm. Confusion. It's even more important than Paralyze. Paralyze is easier to resist than Charm and Confusion most of the time, because the game kinda knows that we have lots of resources to Paralyze, but not many to Confuse or Charm. Okay, so let's keep reading here. And for sleep, there's no single style capable of doing the same thing. There's only options for the start of the round. And even though sleep is way less important than confusion or charm. And for confusion, there's only one single character that can do it, and it's Fulbright with only 10% chance. That means that no character can inflict confusion with a very high chance without depending on skills. And for charm, there's only characters capable of doing it on the start of a round. So that means that after the start of the round, you will not be able to inflict charm by passive anymore, only by using the skills. So, well, let's get back to the game, and you will see that that makes Vampire Lady a unique thing. She can inflict charm with a very good chance, and she can keep doing it without relying on skills. She do not need skills to inflict it. And there's another good thing about charm as a passive. It will ignore the gender of your enemy. You will be able to charm genderless enemies and also female enemies. Valentine's Rocbouquet has this attack called Valentine's Lure that only charms male characters. You can see ineffective against female. That means that having this as a passive will allow you to charm every different type of enemy. This is something unique. It's super important to have something that is not common to see. Jammers are super important in this game. If you can find a boss that is not immune to charm, you will be able to charm even a boss. I'm being serious about it. Noel, one of the 7 heroes, can be charmed. I know that in the future most of the bosses will be immune, but charm is super overpowered. It's the best status ailments. Not only you will lock your enemy for 4 turns, but then it will also attack your other enemies. Well, now let's just talk about the last passive, because this one is also very interesting. It's called Cover of Night, and on the start of a wave, start of a round, that's how they call it in game, she will enter an evasion stance, means no damage. This is actually more important for farming, when you can try to bring carries, meaning that Vampire Lady is your main source of damage and sustain. And that means that she will receive less damage. She can avoid some nukes and work better on farming. But I don't see too much use of this on challenges or boss fights. When you go from wave 1 to wave 2, on the wave 2, if you have low HP, you can use the first turn to recover without receiving damage. Another good use of this passive is that if you want to use Vampire Lady for Sweet Coliseum, she will be immune to all types of damage and also debuffs on the first turn of every new wave. Then you can use her on Speculation or Amazon Raid Formation and draw some of the enemy attacks towards you and reduce the needing of healing, while also guaranteeing that she will not be debuffed or inflicted with status ailments. So another thing that they changed for Halloween Vampire Lady is some of the status. You can see that the Platinum version had more charm, so she will be healing more than the original Halloween Vampire Lady. They changed this, they reduced some of her modifiers, like even endurance. They decreased her endurance to increase her charm. Charm is the last status here. So remember when I said that I'll be back to say something about Mirage Blade? Well, let's enter this fight here. Stage number 7 of the new event. So we have 9 enemies here. Let's try to use Mirage Blade to see if she can inflict charm. You see, let me remove full power auto. What did happen here? All the enemies were charmed. That is because we have 25% chance of inflicting charm. But it's all or nothing. If it inflicts against one enemy, it will inflict against all enemies. That is, if they are not immune. Well, I don't know if this is supposed to be like this, because when I got this character, I thought that it would be a 25% chance to every different enemy, meaning that maybe you will hit charm on one and miss charm on another one. But it's not like that. You either inflict charm on all enemies or you don't. So this is easier to say, make it cheesy, because you can just retreat on a stage that has 9 enemies and then just inflict charm on all 9. Okay, so I will retreat from here and I will show you another stage where you can just inflict charm. You'll be surprised. Here, we are on Noel attacks romancing difficulty. That's the highest one we have in the game. But Noel is only 50 points resistant on Charm. Let's just start the fight. Okay, let's see if we can Charm Noel. Well, we charmed here with a different thing. That was with her passive that charms on the start of a wave. You see, it took me some turns to inflict Charm on Noel, but it just happened. Enemies that have some resistance can still be inflicted with Charm, and having this as a passive means that you have higher chances. And in the future, you will also have a chance to inflict Charm by using skill. The third SS style from Vampire Lady can also inflict Charm with medium chance, and then that means that 2 different chances of inflicting Charm when using that skill. In my opinion, Vampire Lady is amazing. She is as strong as she is, and if you want more damage, you can try to inherit the Inhale Energy into the Platinum style of Vampire Lady. This one has a little more SDR, and also has access to Heaven on Earth, or you can just pass Heaven on Earth to the Halloween version. But this version here has a pro that it's Training Attack 3, meaning that when you use the healing attack here in Inhale Energy, you will have a netted 25% chance of healing once more. So 2 healings on the same turn. That seems very interesting, right? And in the future, when she gets a new SS style that is very strong by itself, has a very nice AoE attack, and a high chance of inflicting Charm, you can still inherit the healing attack. Well, this is it. I think that Vampire Lady is one of the best characters that was changed for Global. I will give her a 9.0 out of 10. I know I'm getting old, I'm saying a lot of this type of stuff, but they really changed a character for better. She's not a best damage dealer, she don't want to be one, she's just a self-sustained character that can inflict status elements that is very rare in the game, that will help you cheese some content or just make different strategies for the future. Also remember, this Vampire Lady can do the same thing as my Rouge does on stage 10.1.2 on very hard, so she can farm the whole stage by herself. That's right. I will try to find other stages where Vampire Lady can do the same, but at least she can work as Rouge, just equipping her with the same stuff. And the next one is Halloween Bunnie. Let's click on Trial. The first attack is Random Shot. It's an AoE attack. Good damage. High BP cost can only be reduced to 6. Then we have Bounce Shot. This is very high damage. A power with single targets, very strong. Both skills can be reduced to 6. And the problem is that the game will always choose Bounce Shot first instead of Random Shot. Alternative to make her a very good AoE attacker is to inherit Stun Shot. It's called Strafing here on the Japanese version. And then you can awaken Random Shot to 6 BP, and then she would just use Stun Shot on the first turn. Second turn she would just use normal attack, and then she would just keep using Random Shot every 2 turns. That is if she doesn't get too much uplifting, because uplifting just can't change the order of her attacks. And while if you pay a lot of attention, you can just see that the first 2 skills are the same as Emilia. And if you have Emilia, you already know how strong those skills are. But if you already have Emilia, you'll also be thinking if it's worth to summon for Bunnie or not. The reason on why summoning or not for Bunnie are not even the first 2 skills. It's the third one, Habit Trick. Let's see what will happen when we use this. Well, she used it 1 attack. Let's see again. 3 attacks now. Wonder why? Let's just click here. Habit Trick is a very fascinating attack on Romancing Saga Reuniverse. It's one of the first attacks that deal with RNG chance to attack multiple times. You can see that it can attack between 1, 2 or 3 times with same hate. So 33% chance of attacking 1 time, 33% chance of attacking 2 times, and 33% of attacking 3 times. So you have very different scenarios here. And when you look on this, you see you can reduce the BP to 10, so it can be used on turn 1. And then you will just try to make a simple math out of this formula and think that it's 69 power total for a skill that can be used on turn 1. That is if it lands 3 attacks. But that's not how it works on Romancing Saga Reuniverse. I am still trying to make a simplified version of the damage formula on this game, but it's not easy to understand. So I made some calculations using one of the tools from the Japanese community, and I'll be showing you something. Okay, so this image here explains the difference in damage between Emilia Sweet Trap and Habit Trick with Halloween Bunnie. What this means is that if Bunnie deals 2 attacks, it will be dealing very similar damage when compared to Emilia. If it deals 3, it will be dealing more damage than Emilia. If it only deals 1 attack, it will be doing half the damage of Emilia. So that is like a coin toss. It will depend on the results that the damage will be higher or lower. So this is the second image. It takes into consideration Divine Wall formation, where they get 50% increase on dexterity. Emilia gets more damage with higher dexterity, and Halloween Bunnie gets more damage with higher weapon power. And on this comparison here, even if Halloween Bunnie deals 2 attacks, it will deal a little less damage than Emilia. And this is the last image. This one considers that Bunnie doesn't have full HP, so only 15% increase on damage, while Emilia will have 30% increase in damage all the time. You can see that 2 attacks from Bunnie do not get close to the final potential of Emilia. So if Bunnie manages to do 3 attacks, it will only outperform Emilia by around 25% damage. So you're playing with RNG even more here, because there's only 33% chances of getting Bunnie to attack 3 times. See? That's the problem here. But Bunnie can attack more often, because this skill can be reduced to 10. While that still means 4 turns on the first cycle, it's lower on next cycles. Now let's just talk about Bunnie passives. The first one is self-improvement. We have a chance of recovering BP when attacking. The second one is Hardy Wallop, that increases damage when she's on full HP, and Fired Up 4 increases damage when she attacks. So you have 30% increase in damage if both Hardy Wallop and Fired Up are active. Fired Up will always be active, but Hardy Wallop is only active if we have full HP. That only happens when you are farming or at the start of fights, because when you're facing some bosses, any AoE will remove your full HP. Halloween Bunnie has better status on every regard. All status are higher with Halloween Bunnie, because this other one here was actually free. We could farm to level 50, but getting Halloween Bunnie to level 50 will take quite a lot of time. And now I want to give a grade for Bunnie. She is very strong. She can defeat Emilia, depending on RNG, of course. But then if you are a hardcore player that just want to do very high turn 1 damage and you don't mind about retreating and trying again, Bunnie is very important, especially in the future when we get another event called Battle Island that needs higher damage output, and Bunnie will be useful even in the future because of that. But if you already have the past 3 version of Bunnie on level 50, you already have Emilia, and you don't think you need another gunner, you can save and skip SS Bunnie. She does not bring anything really new besides Habit Trick. That is very strong, but the difference in damage may not be worth the gems. I'll be giving Bunnie a 9.0 out of 10. I still regard Emilia more than Bunnie because Emilia can do pierce damage as well. And the next style is SS Judie. Judie is a character that comes from the future. She was not released alongside Halloween banner on Japan. She was actually only released on January 2020. The summer banner was released on June of 2019. The Halloween banner was released on October of 2019. And now we have Judie that was released on January of 2020. That means that she probably is way stronger than most characters we have. Yeah, she's the best mage in the game right now. Let's click on Trial to talk about her passives and skills. Dark Sizzle is an AoE attack with moon damage, very nice for farming. It costs only 5 BP, can be reduced to 4. A power can reach 9, just like Chocolate Ball. Sadly, there's no debuff here, but it's okay. But the second skill is called Psycho Noise. This one is amazing. It's also an AoE attack. This time has a little more damage. It's D-Power, but it has 2 different debuffs, Intelligence and Will debuff. Very nice if you are facing a mage enemy where you want to debuff Intelligence so you can reduce the damage, and debuffing Will also help you inflict more status ailments or debuffs, depending on the content, especially if you are facing a challenge that has more than 1 enemy. Using this will help you. Sadly, this is not spammable, so you only use this every 3 turns. But it still helps someone like Astelus, or if you lack Astelus and you want to do something against more than one target. Remember, will debuffs are not easy to find, so you have something here to help inflicting status elements and debuffs. And it's also worth to note that it starts on 10 BP, can be reduced to 8. This means that if you fully awaken Psycho Noise and awaken Dark Sizzle, you will be able to use Psycho Noise on turn 1 and then Dark Sizzle on turn 2 and turn 3. 3 skills on full cycle, if you can clear waves with a single turn. So this means that your Judie will be using AoE attacks in 3 different waves. Very nice to have this. Future SS Rouge will also be able to do the same stuff, but Judie only adds. You can use both together and they will be very good. There's also other characters that can use AoE dark attacks. There's a future Rocbouquet and some other styles as well. Last skill is Dark Flare. Dark Flare is super strong. Guys, this is a triple S damage spell that has 2 elements. Just like, say, Emilia, but for a mage. The highest damage we had so far was with Kongming. Kongming also has a double S damage spell with 2 elements, that is fire and sun. And Dark Flare is both moon and heat. 2 different elements as well, but higher power. That's triple S power. 15 BP cost, so you have to reduce this to 12 with full awakening. And you will only be able to fire this on the 2nd turn. Sadly, but it's a very strong skill. Well, that means that Judie can be a good AoE attacker and also strong single target damage dealer. She's lacking lower BP cost for single target. Sadly, Judie has no other SS or even S or A style in the Japanese version of the game, meaning that she is what she is. She only has access to this, and you have to be happy with what she has. Now let's just give a look on her abilities. She has Baffler. Inflicts confusion on a random enemy with a low chance on the start of a round. Start of a round is the start of a wave. This is the same thing that we have with Blue. And it also means that you can try to cheese stuff with higher chances. You can bring both Judie and Blue to the same content and hope that at least one of them can inflict confusion. You cannot inflict it 2 times, but it just increases your chances. She has Hardy Wallop that damage increases when she's on full HP, so this suggests that she is really made for AoE farming. She has very good agility as well, so she'll probably try to clear waves without being attacked. Fired Up 4 increases 15% damage, so she can get up to 30 on full HP and 15 on all times. Well, Judie is a character that's fully focused on intelligence, and because of that her debuff will hit all the time. And now my opinion on Judie. She is a very strong mage. She can do AoE attacks with a very good cycle. She can debuff, very high single target damage as well if you need. And she pairs well with next SS Rouge. You will have a very strong character for a lot of time to come. In my opinion, she's a 9.0 out of 10. Yes, again, but it's true. I think that Judie is even better now that she's being released before her time. Well, the next character is now Laura. And Laura is the less important of all these characters in this banner. She is a character from the same game, that is Unlimited SaGa. She has Grasshopper as the first attack. Grasshopper is an attack that has 2 properties, Pierce and Slash, but has a very low damage, is deep power, 3 BP, very similar to Glacial Blade from global exclusive Katarina, but it can also inflict a stun with a low chance. That's an utility attack instead of just damage. Then we have Windmill. Windmill makes her enter an evasive counter stance. Means that when she uses this, she will not take any damage. Just like the first turn of a wave when you're using Vampire Lady. It means that she negates attacks. But it's very costly, can only be reduced to 10 BP. It means that you need 3 to 4 turns to get this again. And, well, you will be ignoring all the other skills. The damage is not so high, it's only B power, but it can be further increased by her passives. Last one is Sunset Skewer. This Sunset Skewer is actually amazing. Very strong attack. I think it's exclusive to Laura. Let's check here. Is S power with a column damage. You don't have this. Usually when a character can do column damage, it's locked to A. It cannot get more than that. And then you have Laura with an S damage that's not even the base S damage. It's very, very close to SS. And then you can get this to 10. And it also carries critical damage against beast and floating enemies. This skill is amazing. I just hope it was not on this character. Sadly, because she is a counter tank. And counter tanks are not so useful as parry tanks in this game. So, to understand how she works as a parry tank, let's click here on style details and abilities. The first one is Firm Conviction. This is the same as New Year's Polka. When she gets to 0 HP, she will revive without losing an LP and get 50% of her HP back. Very nice, but only once in a fight. Counter Boost 3 increases the damage of counter attacks by 50%. Extreme effect is 50%. Very high, but that only makes her counter damage a little better. And the best passive in my opinion is Evasive Counter 2. When she's being directly attacked, she will evade the attack and launches a counter attack with a medium chance. The problem with the medium chance, that medium chance is only 25%. So she has a chance to negate the damage just like Acelus, and unlike Acelus, she counters the attack. Very nice. But, well, she needs to be on the front lines of Speculation or Amazon Raid, and she cannot provoke or increase her down chances, so you still depends on RNG to be attacked. And that's a problem with Laura. Laura has very good values on STR, okay, on Endurance, Dexterity, and Agility. She's very balanced, not just about one status. I think this is interesting, but also lacks a certain type of focus. If she had a way to just recover HP or just increase her down chance, that would be better. The next one is Faerie, dressed as Rocbouquet. I am Rocbouquet Faerie. Let's click on try on. The first attack is exclusive. It's called Spooky Ghost. It's very nice, man. I really like this type of stuff. Sadly, I couldn't get her. And this attack here is deep power. Hits a column of foes. It's not so strong. It just has a chance to inflict stun with a medium chance. Medium is good. Javelin is an attack that, well, why would you use it? Only if you only have S style of Faerie. And it's aim power, at least it's fast, means that it will always come first. And let's see the animation of it. It's indirect as well, so you will not be countered. And last one is Divine Lancer. This attack here is not so hard to find, but the problem is that it's very costly, 14 BP. It's one of the few attacks in this game that can debuff Dexterity. Well, Faerie is more about inheritance. If you want to get this attack to your SS Faerie, you have to get this one. And the next one is as Robingirl. This character here is Liz in a costume. Sorry if it's a spoiler, but even the game already says this on a banner. And she is very, very strong for an S style. I think it's one of the strongest S style in the game. She is useful for AoE farming, but there's something interesting here. She has the same skills as Prince Thomas and another archer that we will be able to farm on episode 11 on the next week. I forgot the name. But it's Rapid Volley, Rain of Arrows, and Multi-Shots. Let's start by giving a look on this. Rapid Volley is a cheap, but not so cheap, AoE attack for pierce damage that is very nice, can be reduced to 5, so you can use it 3 times in a row. Then we have Rain of Arrows. This one is a little more costly. It's more similar to Seismic Strike and Punishing Palm. More damage, but more cost. And the last one is Multi-Shots, and this one is actually very, very bad. Because it's single targets, it's only S damage. And it can only be reduced to 10 BP. It's a very huge investment for something that doesn't really matter. In my opinion, you can see the Ring of Arrows is C power. In my opinion, the only thing important here is Rapid Volley for farming. And, well, you can awaken it once and just be happy. Well, and if you have Summer Liz, you can inherit Rapid Volley, and then she becomes very similar to Robingirl. She has a little more dexterity, but she doesn't have all the damage passive, so for farming, Robingirl can be better if you max her to level 50. Let's talk about her passives. You have Hardy Wallop 2, increases 10% of the damage when she's on full HP. Weak Point Focus 2 increases for 10% more if you are attacking on weak targets. And Fired Up 2 increases for 5% more all the time. So you can have up to 25% increase in damage, and this is super good if you are using her for farming stages. If you are not using for farming stages, maybe you will prefer to just inherit Rapid Volley into your list, because she can also heal, and this one doesn't heal much. But it's a very good combination of skills. So for my closing words, Robingirl is one of the best S styles we had in the game, like as Cat, as Tatiana, as Azami. She's on the top tier list for S styles. But she will probably be available once the banner ends. You have to remember that both Robingirl and Laura, Judie, and also A Robin were actually not limited. They were released on a different banners. Well, we have A Myriam to talk about. She's only for inheritance if you want Power Surge or Magna Explosion into your SS Myriam, but she's not useful by herself. What if you want that adorable sprite? Speaking of sprite, I forgot to say about Robingirl, because her sprite is amazing, man. You have to remove your summer list and just get this sprite instead, because I'll be doing this, and be sure of that. Okay, and the last A style is A Robin, and A Robin is the second A Robin actually. So Mesmerize was one attack that we could use with S Fatima, but S Fatima was limited. So this is another chance to have this attack, but sadly Robin only has 2 A styles and 1 S style. His future SS style will be given for free, and he also has Word Ballet and Tornado. Tornado is very nice to have. He is a wind damage dealer as well, so wind is slash, but I don't think anyone will be using A Robin. It's just for the future. Okay, so let's get back to the banner image, and the tough question always comes: is it worth summoning for this banner? The answer is yes. We have 3 different characters that I give a 9.0 grades. I think that Vampire Lady and Bunnie are super interesting characters. They are the most important characters from the banner because they are limited. And Judie is also super good. I think Laura is not that interesting. She is on a niche type of strategy that do not work as the game wants it to work. But having Vampire Lady will just give you chances of inflicting charm. She's the best charm inflictor in the game, even comparing to Japanese styles. And Bunnie is a very strong turn 1 damage dealer that can be used for cheesing content if you want to retreat and try again. In my opinion, well, summon if you don't have Emilia for Bunnie, and summon Vampire Lady for diversity. And also, if you want to be ahead of time, get Judie as well. Okay, so now let's just get to the event. I just want to talk about something here because this video is already too long. So we are here on the event. Let's click on details. This event is interesting. We kind of need to bring at least one of the event characters to get this peculiar treats to drop. You need this to get the best items on the shop, and they also have a new SS style that it's given for free. It's Faerie. You can get her to level 50. She's not that good, but you can inherit Faerie from her S style into her SS style. The real truth is the S style has more endurance and will survive more than this version here, but the difference not so much, and because you can get her to level 50 easily, you probably want to inherit Faerie into this one. She also deals more damage than the normal S style. Well, let's click here, and they also made something very different from this event. They added the non-event units to get more drops and also more status. Both Laura and Judie were not from this event, so they kind of changed it to include the characters so we can get more status gains and also use them instead of the other characters. Very nice of them for doing that. And then we have triple status gain to every one of them. There's 9 characters that will be getting triple gains here. You can use them on the event to get at least 700 HP and around 40 and 50 on status. Very nice. Then you just have to train them on story mode. And last is just the same thing as always. 3 time drops once in a day for 2 different stages on every difficulty. Okay, so now let's just give a look on the exchange shop. You can see that the special currency is needed to purchase a lot of stuff here, like the pieces for SS Faerie, this new accessory that gives moon resistance, very nice, especially for my rogue strategy that needs moon resistance. And then we have platinum summon tickets and book number 1. All those items need you to just use the special currency. You can also wait till they release the second part of this event that will have a battle against a special boss, and that battle will also drop the special currency. After that, just try to get your books, because, well, book number 1 are the most important of them now. We can also get purple gems, nice. And, well, everything else is not so important. You'll probably get everything because the important currency is the special one. And if you want to get it as soon as possible, you can just choose to farm the normal stages, or just wait, like I said, for the second part. Or you can just run very hard number 5. It feels like it's the same cap as the last stage, so just focus your time here. Also, it's the safest stage to farm on the event. Just run this for auto using the event characters, and you will just get what you want in some time. So this is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you still haven't. You can support the channel by either using the Patreon, PayPal, or Coffee buttons here in the description. We see each other on the next one. Bye.